Assalamu alaikum. I'm Saif Islam, your host for halalradio 1, broadcasting live from Sheffield to the UK and the rest of the world. This is the 7 o'clock slot, coming to you tonight and every night throughout the month of Ramadan. Please join us and listen to the stories of the men around the Prophet. Tonight we carry on with Suhaib ibn Sinaan. Please join me in a small prayer before we begin. Ya Allah, we depend on you. We have no power of our own. We have no power of our own. When things are going well for us, we know they have come from you, and we have no power of our own. In our trials, we rely on you. In our temptation, we trust in you. In our success, our success is in your hands, and so is our lives. We have no power of our own. Ya Jabir, Ya Kareem, we cannot do without you. Save us from all evil, and guide us going out and coming in, now and forever. Ameen. Suhaib ibn Sinaan, also known as Abu Yahya, a successful purchase. He was born surrounded by comfort and luxury. His father was the governor of Al-Ubala and its ruler on behalf of the Persian king, and was one of the Arabs who emigrated to Iraq long before Islam. In his palace on the bank of Euphrates, next to Mosul, the child lived happily and comfortably. One day the country was attacked by the Romans, who captured a large number and enslaved the boy Suhaib ibn Sinaan. He was taken by slave traders until finally his long journey ended in Mecca. There he was sold to Abd Allah ibn Judan. After having spent his childhood and most of his youth in Roman hands, he adopted their language and dialect. His master was so amazed by his intelligence, energy and sincerity that he emancipated him and set him free, giving him the privilege to trade with him. One day, let his friends Amir ibn Yasir tell us what happened on that day. I met Suhaib ibn Sinaan in front of the door of Dar al-Arqam when the Prophet, peace be upon him, was there. I asked, "What do you want?" He answered, "And what do you want?" I said, "I want to meet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to hear what he is saying." He said, "I want the same." We both entered and met the Prophet, peace be upon him, who invited us to embrace Islam, and we converted. We stayed as we were till the evening. Secretly, he went out. Thereupon Suhaib got to know his path to Dar al-Arqam. He got to know his path to guidance and light, but also to difficult sacrifice and great redemption. Entering through the wooden door, which separated Dar al-Arqam and what was inside from the outer world, was not just crossing a great threshold, but crossing over a whole world of limitations. An old world with all that represented it. Religion, manners, customs and life, crossing it towards a new world with all that represented it. Religion, manners, customs and life, crossing the threshold of Dar al-Arqam, a threshold not wider than 1 foot, meant in reality to cross an ocean of terror, wide and expanding. Stepping over such an obstacle, such a threshold, meant the beginning of an era full of great responsibilities. As for the poor, the stranger, the enslaved, stepping over Dar al-Arqam's threshold meant exceptional, extraordinary sacrifices. Suhaib, our hero, was a stranger. Amir ibn Yasir's friend, whom he met in the front of the door, was a poor man. Why did they go voluntary to face terror, and moreover do their best when they met with it in combat? It was the call of faith which could not be resisted. It was the good character of Muhammad, peace be upon him, the scent of which filled the hearts of the reverent with love and guidance. It was his new, shining magnificence. Dazzling minds were fed with the old, its misguidance and bankruptcy above all. It was Allah's mercy bestowed upon whoever he wishes, his guidance and protection bestowed on whomever he turns to him. Suhaib holds a position in the ranks of the faithful. He held a great and high position among the persecuted and tortured. Let me just go back to that last paragraph because I read it wrong. The Prophet sent and his shining magnificence, dazzling minds were fed up with the old and its misguidance and bankruptcy. Above all, it was Allah's mercy bestowed upon whomever he wishes, his guidance, his protection bestowed on whomever turns to him. Suhaib holds a position in the ranks of the faithful. He held a great and high position among the persecuted and tortured. He held a high position and among the generous and self-sacrificing. He frankly described his great loyalty to the responsibilities as a Muslim who had pledged allegiance to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and walked under Islam's standard. I was present in every situation witnessed by the Prophet, peace be upon him. I was present at every pledge called by him. I was present in every detachment organized by him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, never took part in a raid at the beginning of the period or the end without my being on his right or left. Whenever the Muslims feared a danger facing them, I was there in the front, and whenever they feared it in the rear, I was there at the back. I never let the Prophet, peace be upon him, stay in a position between me and the foe until he, peace be upon him, met Allah. It was a dazzling image of extraordinary faith and a great loyalty. Ever since the first day he received Allah's light and put his hands into the Prophet's, Suhaib, may Allah be pleased with him, and with all his companions, was imbued with such outstanding faith. From that day, his relationship towards people and the world, let alone himself, acquired a new dimension. From that day, his character turned into a firm, humble and devoted one, subduing events and braving various types of horror. He went on, as already mentioned, bravely and courageously, shouldering all his responsibilities, never lagging behind. Whenever there was a danger or a situation to be encountered, his passionate love and ardent desire were not directed towards gains and spoils, but rather towards sacrifice and ransom, not towards the greed of life, but towards the passion of danger and self-sacrifice. He began the days of his noble redemption and great loyalty with the day of Hijrah. On that day he abandoned all his wealth, all his gold, which he had gained by successfully trading during the years he lived in Mecca. He abandoned all his fortune, all that he owned in a split second, the glory of which was never stained by doubt or retreat. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, intended to emigrate, Suhaib knew that, and he was supposed to be the third of the three, the Prophet, Abu Bakr and Suhaib. However, the Quraysh decided to prevent the Prophet's emigration. Suhaib fell into one of their traps and was thereby hindered for some time from emigrating, while the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his companions set out, accompanied by Allah's blessing. Suhaib disputed, talked and argued until he got rid of his persecutors. He mounted his camel and sped across the desert. However, the Quraysh sent its hunters to follow him. When they reached him, Suhaib had hardly seen them before facing them and shouting from a near distance, "O people of Quraysh, you know that I am the best marksman. By Allah, you cannot reach me before I shoot each of my arrows with my bow. Then I will strike you with my sword until it falls down. Come on, if you like to try, or if you like, I will tell you where all my money is, and so leave me alone." They agreed to take his money. "You came to us as a poor wretch. Your money increased in our hand and among us. You claimed high rank, and now you want to escape together with your money." He guided them to the place where he had hidden his fortune. Then they left him alone and returned to Mecca. Strangely enough, they believed his words without any doubt, without precaution. They did not ask him to prove his honesty, nor did they ask him to swear. This situation granted him a great honor, which he deserves as an honest and truthful man. Alone but happy, Suhaib continued his journey until he reached the Prophet, peace be upon him, at Kuba. When Suhaib came into view, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was sitting surrounded by his companions. As soon as the Prophet, peace be upon him, saw him, he called to him cheerfully, "O Abu Yahi, a profitable sail, a profitable sail." Thereupon the glorious verse was revealed, "And of mankind is he who sells himself, seeking the pleasure of Allah, and Allah is full of kindness to his slaves." Quran 2:201. Indeed, Suhaib had paid all his fortune, the fortune spent all his youth together, in return for his faithful soul. He never felt it was an unjust bargain. Money, gold, the whole world, nothing of that sort was worthwhile as long as he kept his faith, the sovereignty of his conscience, and determination of his fate. The Prophet loved him very much, Besides being pious and God-fearing, he was a cheerful and jovial person. The Prophet, peace be upon him, saw him once eating dates when there was an inflammation in one of his eyes. The Prophet, peace be upon him, asked him cheerfully, "Do you eat dates when there is inflammation in one of your eyes?" He answered, "What's wrong with that? I eat them with the other eye." He was a generous donor, spending all his stipend from the treasury, Beit al-Mal, in the cause of Allah, helping the needy, aiding the sorrowful, feeding the needy and orphans and the captives with the best food. His extreme generosity attracted the attention of Umar, who said to him, "I can see you feeding people too much, and to the extent that you are spending lavishly." Suhaib answered him, "I've heard the Prophet, peace be upon him, say the best of you is the one who feeds others." The life of Suhaib was filled with abundance of merits and great situations. To be chosen by Umar ibn al-Khattab to lead the prayer was another merit to be added. When the commander of the faithful was attacked while leading the Muslims in Fajr prayers and felt his end was coming nearer and nearer, he began to advise his companions. His last words were, "Let Suhaib lead people in prayer." On that day, Umar chose 6 of the companions and trusted them with the choice of the new caliph. The caliph of the Muslims was the one who led the prayers. In those days, following the death of the commander of the faithful, until the new caliph was chosen, who was to lead the Muslims in prayer. Umar would slow down 1,000 times before choosing someone, especially in these moments while his pure soul was passing away to meet Allah. If he chose, then there was no one more eligible than the chosen. He chose Suhaib. He chose him to lead the Muslims in prayer until the next caliph came to carry out his duties. He chose him despite the Roman accent obvious in his language. This choice was a divine blessing upon the pious worshipper, that being Suhaib ibn Sinaan. SubhanAllah, what a beautiful person. MashaAllah, brothers and sisters, it's only been a week since we started this collection of stories of men around the Prophet, peace be upon him. Men around the Messenger. We started with the light they followed, Muhammad, our dear Prophet, peace be upon him. Then we met Musab ibn Umar, the first envoy of Islam. Then Salman al-Faris, the seeker of truth. Abda al-Ghifari, the leader of the opposition and enemy of wealth. Bilal ibn Rabah, the one who sneered at horror. Abd Allah ibn Umar, the persistent and repentant to Allah. Sa'id ibn Amr Wakas, the lion's claw. Suhaib ibn Sinaan, who we've just been talking about, who remember us, O Abi Yahi, a successful purchase. Brothers and sisters, please keep joining us at Halal Radio, where we will continue the stories of these magnificent men and what they have achieved over the next few weeks in Ramadan. If you do have any issues and need to ask a question, please email us at halalradio1. We do have a qualified imam who is willing to offer advice and answer your questions according to Quran and Hadith. So until tomorrow, Salam Alaikum.